Miss Burt. Welcome back to another video. So I've called this video Favourite Things, and one of my favourite things to do is to have a little nosy in people's gardens when I go for my walks. And I've started by showing you some cottage gardens. I really like the lush green lawns and their very tidy borders. So I'm quite envious because my lawn could never be that lush. My second favourite thing is pottery. I don't have very many pieces because I do try and keep my house quite minimalistic and I try to keep it really clutter free. But I thought I'd share some pottery that I was gifted years ago, and it's Carlton ware. So this is a teapot, and it has a pansy or a primula design there, and then it's got a really sweet flower here on the handle, and then the top of it, to lift it, there's a little decorative flower there as well. And Carlton ware, the factory began in Stoke-on-Trent about 100 years ago, and they specialised in making ornate or decorative pieces for use in the home. And on the base you'll find their label, and it should say Carlton ware, and then it will tell you what pattern it is. Even though this is a fully functioning teapot, I don't actually use it. I don't want to damage it. I just keep it for decoration. I've also got, matching with that, a little set for the table, which is salt and pepper. So that's the pepper dish, and there's the salt dish, and they have this decoration of foxgloves on them. So they're really pretty as well. And then there is a dish here that I think is for mustard or for some condiments, and it should have a little spoon with it. And then that has a decorative top as well. And they come in a little tray which is shaped like a leaf. So I thought I'd just share some really sweet pottery with you. And then I'll move on to my next favourite thing, which of course is pottering around in the greenhouse. So my next favourite thing this week is actually being in the greenhouse and potting up some bulbs ready for spring. So I'm going to be potting up some tulip bulbs. I've got these, they're called Jimmy, and they have big blooms and really strong stems. So they're ideal for putting into a pot. This is the size of my pot. I've removed one of the tomato plants that's finished growing, and I'm using that pot. So the first thing is that you need to have good drainage. So the pot has a hole in it, but to improve the drainage, I'm actually going to put in a few pieces of broken pottery into it at the bottom, and this will improve the drainage as well. So you can use broken pottery or even small plastic plant pots, and just put those in at the bottom, and that improves the drainage. Then you need to half fill the plant pot with compost. So I'm using Miracle Grow as my compost, and I've added some perlite to it as well. So I'll do that next. Okay, so I've half filled this plant pot with compost. The little white specks are perlite that I've added in there for drainage. And then I've got 5 bulbs, and I'll just show them to you. They look like little onions, so they've got the brown layers on the side, and it doesn't matter if some of those peel off. And you've got a pointed end, and the pointed end needs to point upwards, and the larger end is just gently embedded into the soil. So I'm just going to put those in there, and then I'll show you what the pot looks like. And this is the ideal time to plant. So you plant in October, so that's what the bottom looks like there. You plant in October or late September, and then over winter you leave them outside, so the moisture and the rain and the cold will actually encourage the bulbs to grow, and then in spring, in March, April, you will get green shoots coming out, and then the tulips will come out. So I'm just going to cover the top of this with some soil. So cover the top with a thin layer of soil. Now the soil's already a little bit damp, but when it goes outside, it will rain, and that will encourage the tulips to grow. So that's done, and we'll see what they turn out like in springtime. And next I'm going to share another of my favourite things, which is a very simple recipe for a carrot sweet dish called gajar halwa. At this time of the year in India and in Pakistan, carrots are really sweet and ripe and delicious, and a speciality dish is made with carrots and is sometimes served at weddings or other feasts. And it's basically a pudding made with carrots and milk. So I'll share my simple recipe with you. Take the juiciest carrots that you can find. Wash them, peel them, grate them. Add 4 cups of grated carrots to a saucepan. Let them simmer. The water will come out of the carrots and the carrots will soften. After about 15 minutes, the carrots are soft. Add half a cup of sugar. You can add more or less to your taste. Carry on simmering until all the sugar dissolves. Then add 2 cups of full fat milk. I add 1 cup at a time. I let it simmer gently. All the milk is absorbed into the carrots, and when it's dry, then I add the 2nd cup. Then add 1 tablespoon of the best butter you can find. Let that dissolve into the carrots. Keep simmering, don't let the mixture burn. After 20 minutes, turn off the mixture. The secret ingredient, cardamom powder. I add half a teaspoon. You can add more or less depending on your taste. Mix in the powder. Your pudding is made. It's as easy as that. So this is the carrot pudding. My recipe makes enough for 4 people. And the cardamom powder gives it just this lovely festive smell to it. It really smells delicious. You can have it hot or cold. You can serve it with cream or ice cream. You can decorate it with pistachio nuts or almonds, but I love it just plain. I'll just try a little bit. That is delicious. So my next favourite thing to do is to visit an independent shop in Didsbury. So Didsbury is a town near my house, and the shop is the Cheese Hamlet. This shop has always been there as long as I can remember. I think it opened in 1970, and it has a wonderful selection of cheese and jams and chutneys, and it's just a delicatessen. There are other independent retailers in Didsbury as well. And what I like is there's an Oxfam which has a really good pottery section and a book section. And there's also a very quaint street, a cobble street, and it has another independent bookshop there, which I always like to visit. So come along with me, let's see what we can find. So I thought I'd end my video by just showing you what I bought in Didsbury. So first of all, from E.M. Morton Booksellers, I bought a book by one of my favourite authors, Miss Reed, and it's called The Christmas Mouse. So that will be a really lovely book to read in winter time. And it's really nice when you come across one of your favourite books in a second-hand bookshop. And then I went to the Cheese Hamlet, and I bought some olives. I'll just tilt the box so that I'll share them with you there. So these are very large green olives that are stuffed with garlic, and they are just delicious. And they're just so much nicer than you'd get in the supermarket. I'll just try another one. You cannot compare the taste with supermarket ones or the ones that you get in the jar. So really, really delicious. And then the second thing that I bought from the Cheese Hamlet was some Stilton. So the lady in the shop always lets you try and taste the different cheeses. And then this Stilton is from Yorkshire. I'll just try a little piece of it. And it's really creamy. So it has the creaminess, and then with the blue tangy flavour of the blue cheese as well. Lovely. So thanks so much for watching my video, and I'll see you next time.